Hello, guys. So today, after you guys have gotten your work done, I wanted to go ahead and just do a quick video. There won't be any activity that goes with this. Yesterday, you guys turned in your quiz about poems, dramas, and prose, and I wanted to make sure that we really understand the difference with this between these because these are things that you have all seen before. We've used all three of these things in class, and you've been using these things since even when you were in your younger grades. Um, but sometimes the vocabulary and the new language can sometimes trip us up. So I do want to show you guys that really the biggest thing we have to be able to do is be able to explain the differences between these three things. So first, I want to talk about poems, okay? And at the beginning of the year, we really dug into poems. You may not remember, but we used a lot of Imagine Dragons songs. We used the song High Hopes, and we just talked about how even songs are a form of poetry, and there's like a flow and a rhythm and a beat to them a lot of times. Not always, but most of the time. You're also going to notice that they're organized a little bit differently than a story would be. They're not written in paragraphs like you've seen before. They may not even be in complete sentences. Again, with the rhyme, the meter, and the repetition, all give poems that beat or that flow, just like songs. And a lot of songs are poems. The next one is a drama, and we were getting confused, I noticed in the quiz, between dramas and prose. Okay, dramas and prose are very, very similar because a drama could be a prose and a prose could be turned into a drama, but they are different. So a drama is just a fancy word for a play. A drama is meant to be acted out. It's usually meant to be on stage. I want you guys to think about Elf, okay? Could we read the story of Elf in a book? Sure. But it was written to be acted out, and that's why it looks different and feels a little bit different than just a plain old story or prose. And then that's just what a prose is. Some of us were getting confused by that. It's just a story, okay? And it can be told in that first person or that third person perspective. A lot of times a prose is short, it's not necessarily long. It's more like a short story or like a picture book almost. So I'm going to take a second to look at three different types of text and tell you how I know what they are. So the first thing I'm going to do is I would usually tell you that I would read it, but for the sake of time, I'm going to skip that. I'm going to really pay attention to formatting. I noticed that this is called the meat. I'm noticing some different things jumping out to me. I am seeing dialogue, and I do know that in a drama there is a dialogue. However, this is not written like a drama would be. Okay, with a drama, the dialogue is written with a character name typically, and this is written within the story. I also noticed this is organized into paragraphs, and because of that, I believe this to be a prose. Okay, there is dialogue, a drama has that too, but the way that it's laid out lets me know that this is a short story. When I look at this one, I see that they're telling me the setting. They're not showing it to me, they're not helping paint a picture, they're just telling me what it is. I see characters. I see character names. I then do see dialogue and I see conversations, but it's laid out differently. And because of that, I know this is meant to be acted out. I want you guys to think about readers' theaters. I know that we've done these before, maybe not in fourth grade, but we've definitely done them before in second and third. And you acted these out. You had a line, you went around in your group, and you acted it out. So that would be what a drama is, play, just like Elf. And then that would leave our final one, a poem. Some of the things I notice about this is each line is not necessarily a complete sentence. I have to read a couple lines to get to that complete sentence. I notice that they're in smaller groupings. And I notice sometimes that there can be rhyming words. There won't always be, but there can be. So I'm going to go through three more, and I want you guys just to take a second to think about what it would be based on what you're noticing. So take a second to notice what this is. You don't necessarily need to read it. Is this a drama, a prose, or a poem? If you said that this is a prose, you are correct. If you'll notice, it's divided into paragraphs. There is dialogue, but it's not laid out with the character name first. You'll notice there's no stage direction. You'll also notice that it is painting that picture for you. It's not telling it to you. So take a second to look at this one. You don't necessarily need to read it, but look at the structure, look at the way that it's set up. Is this a poem, a prose, or a drama? If you said this is a poem, then you would be correct. It's divided into stanzas. I noticed that there's not punctuation all the way till the end here, so that means that each one of these lines is almost like a fragment, although it all goes together. I also don't notice true rhyming words. I do notice endings, though, which help the author to emphasize, we saw that word during last week, or to really put the focus on those words to help it have that meter or flow or beat. So our final one is this. Take a second to look at this and decide, is this a drama, a prose, or a poem? If you said this was a drama, you are correct. This would be acted out. If you notice, it's telling you the narrator. It's not written within. It's divided into small chunks with the character names. I hope that helped a little bit more for you to notice the difference between the three. There is no activity for this. Remember, just watching it to make sure we truly understand.